settings to spotlight and settings to full screen, so that you guys can get a better and clear view. Okay, guys, and I want this session to be very interactful, because I guess there's people who have already been have a knowledge about DevOps, or people who have already got trained. We are going to give you some insights of DevOps, and I feel this is going to be a exciting journey. So I want you guys to be interactful in this session. So, so before I start, let me brief things. So what we're gonna explain, or what we're gonna start in this thing. Basically, the language we are gonna choose is English, because once you get into an interview and once you get trained or somewhere, it will be very easy for you guys to uh, give in interviews, and how understand how what the mindset of the interviewer is. So if anything, you can definitely ask in other languages, but prefer English as a language for cracking interviews. Okay, so we are thrilled to have you join us for this exciting journey of learning and growth. Before we get started, here are a few points, things to note. Today we will be covering introduction to DevOps and some important topics along with the DevOps. Okay, so we encourage active participation. Feel free to ask any question during the questions sessions. We will have a Q&A at the end of the session, and there will be always some question will be dropped in. You can always comment in the comment section. All session materials and recordings will be shared you after the session. Okay, so your feedback is very valuable to us. So how the session went, and you can tell us, you can personally ping us, you can personally connect to the people, the mentor and me myself. Okay, so we are looking forward to productive and engaging session. So if you guys are still there, just press yes in the comment section. Okay, let me, yeah, yeah, yes. So yes, okay. So only one person is active. So no issues. Yeah, all the people who are actively listening, just type in yes. Yeah, thank you. So guys, so to brief about the trainer, your dynamic trainer, Mr. Nasir Hussain Patel, who is more or of 6 years of experience in the industry. See, usually what happens is you get trained under someone who is not working actually in the industry, and who doesn't understand what is the reality, or the what is the actual thing as a DevOps engineer has to work in. Okay, so Mr. Nasir Hussain Patel is having over 6 years of experience in AWS and DevOps, previously working as a consultant for Bosch, and working currently in senior consultant as a is a senior consultant in one of the big four. Okay, so what is big four? Just Google it out. Okay, and trainer has received professional appreciation and awards from organization. He has worked into different organization as a consultant, so, and also received a bronze badge in the cloud agile from current company. So what these batches are, you can ask the question later on the session. Okay, so how much important these batches are. These are very eminent batches, which are given for their extraordinary contribution. Okay, so received a client extraordinary certificate also from the current company. So teaching AWS and DevOps from past 1 year, he has trained people from India and US. Designed this course. He has designed this course basically for people to get a practical exposure. See, a lot of things, a lot of people have trained on theoretical basis, but Nasir Hussain Patel has designed this course as such a way that this will give you an overall view of the DevOps role, so that it can be easily help you in working in the company. Okay, so also he's a corporate trainer providing trainings to internal team also. In his own team, there are people around him who have getting trained by him. So he's also taken interviews for in AWS and DevOps also. So that means he understands the overall what kind of questions are to be asked and what kind of questions to be needed. Okay. So he has worked on projects like ACC, Aditya Birla, Bosch, Century Enka, JSW, Hindalco, Grasim. Okay, these are the some of the companies. So I want you guys to cheer up for the mentor. He's going to start. He's going to take over from here. Okay. Thank you guys. And if any questions, we will be always on the chat. You can ping us. We will take those questions. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Vishwanath, for the warm introduction. And let me take it from here. Just- So, as already, Vishwanath has already introduced me to you guys. And so, my name is Nasir Hussain Patel, and currently I'm working in one of the big fours. I'm working as a senior consultant, and so I've basically designed the course in such a way that you guys should not have should not face any difficulty attending the interviews and all. So mostly I've come across candidates who generally ask me the questions that whenever we face interviews, we have the challenges with the real time scenarios and all. So this is something that I have basically designed the course in such a way that you can easily handle or tackle the real time scenarios and all. So basically today we will be discussing with the basic understanding of what is DevOps and all, and why DevOps is required in the industry. So nowadays you may have heard the reason why you have joined this session, or you have your anyways little bit of interest in this session because you have heard this term DevOps somewhere, and maybe you have or you are having a basic understanding that somewhere DevOps is in high demand in today's market. So today what we will do is we will just have a basic understanding of what DevOps is, why DevOps is required, what is the background, what is the history, how it started, and why why the traditional we can say methodology was replaced by DevOps later on, and how DevOps can help you get a job even if you're from the if you even if you're working in an IT industry, or you are come from a non-IT industry, even if you're a fresher, or you are you are even a non-technical person, you can still learn DevOps. And I will just walk you through all the frequently asked questions that I get from the candidates. So basically this is not my first batch. It's been almost a year that I'm teaching AWS and DevOps to my candidates. So I have come across several questions from my candidates, so I will try to make this session in such a way that mostly all of your questions will be answered in this session itself. But still, if you still have any questions, you are still free to ask it at the end of the session. And I will ensure that most of your questions that are there in your minds, that will be covered. But still, be rest assured, we will give you time. You can even if you feel you're not comfortable talking on the mic, you can still post your questions on the chat, and we will be covering all your questions at the end of the session. So let me just switch off my camera so that I don't get much space. Uh, Today, as I told you, we will be starting about with the introduction of DevOps. What is DevOps and all? So these are the topics that we will be covering in today's session. So we'll be starting with a brief introduction. Then we will be understanding what is SDLC. So let us understand what is SDLC, what are the different phases of SDLC, what is a waterfall methodology, what are the limitations that arise in waterfall methodology, what is an agile methodology, why agile is required, and then we will understand what is DevOps and why DevOps is required. So basically, these terms are they may look quite technical to you. So I will make it as simple as possible. So I will make it even a non-technical person should be able to understand this session. So I have designed this course in such a way. So starting with what, let us understand what makes a product, a good product. So basically, let us start from the basic thing, talking about a product. So let's say this is a product that I have designed. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so let's say this is a product that now we have designed. Now if I want this product to be, to be an ideal product in the market, what are the most important criteria, or what are the most important categories that I'll be needing to focus on? So it is generally written as PQT. So what is a PQT? So PQT is price, quality, and time. So the PQT over here is, if any of the product it wants to beat the market, if it wants to compete in the market, if it wants to stand in the market, the most important part is to be have a reduced price and with a good quality. So cost cutting, reducing the price doesn't mean that I will just sell cheap products. Okay, that means that I have to reduce the price. Not only I need to reduce the price, but I also need to deliver the same or a better quality, that too in a short term period. So you can take any example, whichever product is competing the market, whichever product you believe is ideal in the market, they focus on these three major categories. That is the reduced price with an enhanced quality, and immediate delivery or short delivery within short term period. So you can take any example of online applications and all. We have seen applications like we have this GeoMart, Zepto, Dunzo and all. So what these guys are doing, they are focusing on reducing their price, improvising their quality, and delivering it in short time period. Okay, so they are also focused on delivering the product in a very small amount of time. So these are the three major or let's say important uh, things that make a product very ideal. Okay, so let us understand why we are discussing this in DevOps. So the reason why I'm discussing this in DevOps, because the same applies in a software industry as well. So this is just a general understanding of what an ideal product is. So we have products in IT industry as well. Okay, so in IT also we have products. So what are the products in IT industry? So you may be thinking, no, IT, like how can we call it product? We don't see them physically. So that doesn't mean that if you see a product physically only it means a product. Product can be physical or they can be virtual. Virtual is something that you cannot see with your own eyes, is something that is virtual. So generally candidates have a misunderstanding or misinterpretation that in IT or in software industry you don't have products. No, that is a wrong understanding. In IT also we have several products. So let me just walk you through what are the different IT products. So we have operating system, it is a kind of a product. So in operating system we have Windows, Linux, Mac OS, you are already aware. So you may have heard about several softwares like we have Microsoft Office and all. So this is also a product. Then we have antivirus applications or antivirus software like McAfee, or we have this Quick Heal. So this is also a product. Then we have several applications that we use in day-to-day life, applications like WhatsApp, Instagram, or phone banking. So whatever applications also that we use in our daily life, these are also IT product or software products. Then we may have heard about several clouds as well, like cloud services like AWS, Azure, GCP. So these are IT products. So generally, there is a misconception that people or candidates they think that in a software industry they don't have any products or services. They do have products, although these products are not visible to us, but that doesn't mean that they are not products. They are also a product. So as I already told you that whenever we are competing in the market, the ideal product is something that has a lower price, has a better quality, and can be delivered in time. So same applies in in a software industry, that these products they need to be competing with the price. They need to compete with a better quality, and they needs to be delivered in short term period. Okay, so let us take a simple example of, let's say I am developing a phone banking application, and let us see how the development and deployment of IT product happens. So let us see the development and deployment of an IT product. Deployment is nothing but making something available. Okay, so in simple terms, deployment is something that is making something available either internally or externally. So let's say I have developed a phone banking application, and I have made it available to my internal team. That means a deployment, or I have made it available to the to the outside public. That also means a deployment. So generally, this is a technical team used in software industry, but don't get, I know it's not something very complex. Deployment is nothing but making something available either internally or externally. So let us understand the development and deployment of a product, how a deployment and development of a product happen. And just for instance, let me take an example of phone banking. So let's say I'm working with a client. So let's say I'm working with HDFC Bank. So let's say this is my client, and they have approached my company to develop a phone banking application. So let's say let's go 20-25 years back, or 15-20 years back, wherein mostly whatever banking transaction used to happen, they used to happen physically. So let's say you want to deposit cash, or you want to withdraw cash, or let's say you want to apply for SMS banking, or let's say you want to transfer some money. Each and every transaction used to happen physically. So you had to visit the bank physically. After that only you were able to do the transaction. But later on, when technology came, when the time changed, mostly most of the companies or most of the organization, they started migrating to online applications because it was much easier. It used to save a lot of their cost, a lot of their hard work, a lot of their efforts. So let's say we are just 10-15 years back behind, wherein HDFC Bank is still using physical method to do the transactions and all, and it has approached my company. So let's say this HDFC Bank has, let's say I have my own IT company, and they have approached my company, let's say ABC Softwares, and they have requested me to develop a phone banking application. Okay, so they have approached me, and they have asked me to develop a phone banking application. So what are the different process, or what are the different methods that are there, or that I need to follow in this development of this phone banking application? So let me just walk you through what are the different stages, or what are the different processes that are followed in tradition in for developing this application. So the first stage that I will do is I will understand their requirement. So that is the basic thing, is I will be understanding the requirement, and I will be giving them the design. Okay, so design of the application. So this is what we are planning to do. So I will be having a basic understanding of the requirement, and I'll be giving them a brief architecture of what I'm planning to do. And later on, what I will do is I will go to my internal team, and mostly I will go to my developers, and I will ask them to write the code to develop this applications. So then this I will approach my development team, which are the developers, and I will ask them to develop this application as per the design. So I will be giving them the design, and I will be asking my development team to write the code. So what the development team will do, they will write the code in whichever language that we are currently using. It can be JavaScript, Python, .NET, Node.js, whatever languages are generally used in organization. So they will be writing the program, they will be writing the code, and they will be developing the application. Now, whenever a code is written, it is in a text format. Okay, it is generally in a text format. So if you want to convert some code into an executable file, that process is called as building an application, or generally, or let's call build the app. So what do you mean by building the app? So I will go to the build team and I'll ask them to build the app. So the next thing that I will do is I will approach my build team and I will ask them to build the app. So what do you mean by building the app? It is simple. Just convert this code into an executable file. So converting the code into an executable file, or let me write it as a package software or something. So let's say this is my executable file. So if I'm converting my code into an executable file, that process is called as build. So generally, we are aware of .exe files. So in Windows, if you want to install any software, we have this exe file that we need to install. The moment I run this exe file, the packages or the software get installed in my Windows laptop. Similarly, in Linux or in Mac OS, the packages are in .jar, .var, .ear. So if they are written in JavaScript code, the packages are generally packed into .jar, .var, or .ear format. But just for example, let us think that we are developing a Windows application. Then this code will be converted into an executable file, and this process of conversion is called as building the application. So when the moment I convert the code into an executable file, that process is called as building. So that is the next step that I need to follow, is I will be building the app into an executable file. Now what is the next step? Next step is I will be approaching the testing team to do the testing. So what the testing team will do is they will check the code, and they will check whether the application is running properly, if there are any defects in the code. So they will do all the testing, all this kind of testing and all. And if there are any defect, okay, or if there are any fault, if there are any issues with the application, they will again go back to the development team, and they will tell them to resolve the issues. Okay, so this is how the testing and development team they work. So the testing team will go back to the development team if there are any issues. But if there are no issues, next what the testing team will do is they will approach the QA team. Now QA is called as a quality assurance team. Okay, so QA simply means quality assurance team. So uh, uh, what is the function of quality assurance team is they will ensure, so they will do two things. So they will check that the website or the application is safe from hackers. So that is the first thing that they will do, is that the app is safe from the hackers. And the next thing that they will check is that the app is user friendly. So let's say, we have developed this phone banking application. Then the QA team will ensure two things. First thing, that the application has to be safe from external attackers. Okay, so they will check for the security part, the firewall, and they will ensure that the application is safe from hackers. The next thing that they will check is that the app is user friendly. Okay, if the app is complicated, nobody will use it. Okay, then nowadays, why for phone pay or Google Pay, why people are using it, why, or let's say why they are so much popular, is because they have made it very user friendly, they have made it very simple to use. Even a small kid can also do the transaction with the help of Google Pay and Phone Pay. So they will ensure that the app is simple and it is user friendly. Also, that app has to be safe from attackers. No, no, not that we will make an application and anybody can access your data. So that is also the role of QA team, that is called as a quality assurance team. So once all this thing is done, this is called the internal team in my organization. So as I told you, this is my company. Okay, so in my ABC software, I am trying to build a phone banking application. So first I'll be doing the design, then I'll be approaching the development team. I will be, building the app. I'll be approaching the testing team, then the QA team. Then, the app will be built internally. So this is what I have is called as the internal team. So this is my internal team in my organization who will be basically doing the, they will be building the app, they will be testing the app, and they will be doing the quality assurance of the app. Now the next team that comes into picture is the deployment team, or let's say on-site team. Now generally, even candidates, they misunderstand that on-site means going out of India or to a foreign country. On-site simply means that you are going to the client location and you are installing or configuring the software, or let's say you are installing or configuring the application. So even if you are in India, so let's say this HDFC bank, so let's say my company is in Pune and this HDFC bank is in Delhi, then Delhi will be my on-site, that will be my on-site. Okay, my team will go to Delhi and they will be doing the installation of the software. So on-site doesn't necessarily means that you're going out of India. On-site means that you have to go to the client location and do the installation and configuration stuff. So what no once the QA team has completed the checking quality assurance of the application, the on-site teams comes into picture. So the first thing that they will do is they will they will install the package in their local system. Okay, so they will install the package, or they will install the application in local machine and see its functionality, and they will check the functionality whether the application is working properly in the local machine. Okay, and they will check the functionality. Once this is found okay, once the application is found okay in the local machine, what they will do is what they will do is they will install the application in the client's machine. Okay, so they will install the application in the client machine, and again they will do the testing and all, whether the application is working properly and all, whether the client are able to uh, use the phone banking application, and whether it is as per the design that was decided in the beginning. So they will ensure that whatever design was finalized, the application has to be in that format only, and the client is able to use the use the application and all. And after the installation of the app is done in the client's machine, what the next step is, we will the next step is the maintenance and monitoring team will come into picture. And what is the role of maintenance and monitoring team is they will check how much resources are consumed by the application. So let's say I am doing a NEF transaction, or I'm doing an IMPS transaction, or let's say I'm transferring the money to somebody else, then how much the amount of resources are consumed by the server. So mostly they will be checking what is the CPU, they will be checking the CPU consumption, they will be checking the RAM consumption. Okay, and how much amount of resources are consumed, what is the amount of storage that is required for the application. And they will ensure that not the recommended whatever is recommended, let's say percentage of CPU that is required for the app to function, that should not exceed. So they will ensure that it is within the limit of CPU and RAM consumption. If it exceeds, then what will happen is your server will break down, because let's say you are using a let's say for example you are using a 4 GB RAM server and the application is taking 8 GB of RAM, then there is a performance issue with the application. So they will ensure the maintenance and monitoring of the application. They will check how much resources are consumed by the application, and the last step is they will be doing the handover. Okay, so that means that the project is completed, they will be doing the handover to the customer, and that means that the project is completed. So this is how the development and the deployment of product happens in an software industry. Okay, so I have just taken an example of an ABC software company. So this is typically what happens in any software industry, or let's say this is a high level overview of how the development and deployment of the product happens in any IT industry. Now, whatever stages that I have discussed over here, okay, right from development to build, testing, QA, okay, and then this operations. So this is taken care by the operations team, deployment team rather, and then the maintenance, monitoring. Okay, so all these stages that we have discussed, let me write it here. So we have started with the, let me write it as design, then the development, then build, then testing, QA. Okay, so this is something that was done by my internal team, and later on deployment, maintenance, monitoring. So all these stages that we have discussed till now, these all are called as software development life cycle, and in short it is written as SDLC. So this is what you mean by software development life cycle. So all the stages that are followed in your software development, or whatever stages are used to develop a product in software industry, these all stages are called as software development life cycle. Okay, so these all stages starting from design, development, build, testing, QA, deployment, maintenance and monitoring, all these stages entirely, they come under the SDLC process, or also called as software development lifecycle. Now, uh, previously, before DevOps was introduced, I will come to DevOps, don't worry. Uh, there was a traditional method that was followed in SDLC. So basically, software development lifecycle in today's market, they are of two types. Okay, so SDLC is further divided into two categories. So let me just copy this here. So yes, SDLC is further divided into two categories, or we can say two methods or two processes. So the first process is called as the waterfall methodology, or we can call it as a waterfall method or waterfall process, or in technical terms it is called as waterfall methodology. Okay, so this is called as a waterfall methodology. And another methodology or another process that is followed in SDLC is the agile methodology. Now let us understand what is a waterfall methodology. So let us first understand what is a waterfall methodology. Now we are already aware waterfall is something that happens in this stepwise manner, right? So it follows the steps, right? So this is generally what waterfall is, correct? So that is how the name is given, because it follows a step-by-step method, and that is the reason why it is also called as step-by-step method. You can also call it as step-by-step method, step-by-step process, step-by-step methodology. It is totally up to you. Technically it is called as methodologies. Now what happens in waterfall methodology, or also called as a step-by-step process, is whatever processes that we have discussed over here, all these processes, let me just copy these processes. So they happen, these processes are followed in a step-by-step manner. Now how is it followed? Let me just explain it to you. So first, again coming back to HDFC, my client. Okay, so they have asked ABC Software to develop the phone banking application, and in turn, let's say I am using a waterfall methodology. I am using a traditional methodology, And for that, what I do is I tell them that I will take around 1.5 years to develop the application. So in turn, so HDFC has approached me to develop the application, and in response to their requirement, what I tell HDFC is that it will take 1.5 years for me to develop the application since I am using a waterfall methodology. Now, why so much amount of time? I will tell you that this is something that was used previously. So before Agile or before DevOps, this is how the traditional IT or software development life cycle used to happen, or this is the process that used to be followed few years back. Okay, this is not something that I'm talking vaguely. This is something that used to happen before, that the development of applications is to take years, months or years for them to build. So you may have heard, if your friend was working, let's say in 2000, after 2005 to 2010, in that time period, they used to tell that, my project is going on for years, 5 years, 10 years, I'm working on a single project. This used to happen previously. And why it used to take so much amount of time, I will explain it to you. So basically, let's say I have asked HDFC, HDFC has asked me to develop the phone banking application, and in return, since I'm using a traditional software development process, so I tell them that it will take me around 1.5 years to develop the application. The reason why is I will tell you, because since I'm using a step-by-step method, first I will spend some time in doing the design. Okay, so I will work on design. So let's say I am taking around a month to finalize the design. First, I have gone with first draft. The client has made some changes. No, this is not the logo. This is my logo. This is the color. These are the buttons I need to use. This is what I need in the design. So the basic design, the basic draft only, it has been redesigned several times. So let's say it takes around a month only for the design part. So let's say I'm spending around a month only on the design part. Now later on, once the design is finalized, so I go to my development team, and the development team will be working on writing the code. And this is the major part. Okay, and the team will take around, let's say, 6 to 7 months for just writing the code. While the development team is working, rest other teams, they will be just sitting idle. Okay, so the build team, the testing team, the QA team, the deployment team, they will have no other work. So let's say I'm working on a single project, so the development team will be working day in day out, but the rest other teams, they will be sitting idle, they won't be doing any other work. Okay, once the development team has completed their job, once they have done writing the code, after several months, they will approach the build team to do the app building. So let's say the build team has taken around a month to build the application, and they have just converted into an executable file, and they will approach the testing team. While the build team is working for an entire month, the development team is sitting idle, and rest other teams, testing, QA, deployment, monitoring, maintenance team, they are also sitting idle. So once the build team has done the work for, let's say, entire month, the testing team will come into picture, and let's say they take another, let's say 3 4 months to do the testing and all. Hmm? And let's say they have come out with some bug. Okay, so they have found out some error, that this is not working, that is not working, this is not as per the design. So they will just check everything, and they will come back to the development team and tell them that no, this is you have missed something in the code, there are some bugs in the code. Again, you need to do the development of the code again. What the development team will do, they will work for, let's say, another uh, let's say 1 to 2 months on resolving the issues that was highlighted by the testing team. And again, the build team, testing team, QA team, rest other teams, they will be sitting idle. Again, they will come back to build team, then again the testing team will do the work. And now let's say testing team are satisfied with the code that they have written, okay, with the application. Then what testing team will do is they will approach the quality assurance team, and they will approach them, and they will ask them to check the application whether it is safe from the attackers, and whether it is user friendly and it is as per the client's requirement. Let's say again the QA team will spend 4 to 5 months only on making the application safe, and also to make it simple and user friendly. And if there are any issues again in the application, or there are any changes that needs to be done, again they will come back to the development team for the redevelopment of the application. Again they will approach the development team. Again the development team will say again they will take, let's say, 15-20 days, or again another 1 month of time for the redevelopment of the product. And rest of the time the build team, QA team, and other teams, they will be sitting idle. Again they will approach the build team, development team will be sitting idle. The build team will then send the application to testing team. The rest of the teams will sit idle. Again the testing team will come back to the QA team, and now the QA team has said that it is okay. So whatever we have planned, it is found okay. After the QA team has done their work, okay, after the QA team has done the quality assurance work and all, they will approach the deployment team. Okay, so they will come back to the deployment team, and they will ask the deployment team to do the rest other job. And now what QA team, or this internal team that we have, so this is kind of the internal team. So the internal team that we have now, they have they have just said that we have done our part. Now it is your responsibility to do the deployment, maintenance, and monitoring of the application. Okay, so the rest needs to be taken care by the next team, that is the on-site team. Now the deployment team will do some testing and all. Okay, so while the deployment team is working, the internal team will be sitting idle, the maintenance team will be sitting idle, the monitoring team will be sitting idle. The deployment team, let's say they are working another 3-4 months or 2-3 months for the to test the application in the local machine. They have found out some issue, they are doing some configuration and stuff, and they have resolved it, and they have installed it in the client's machine. Okay, and the next is the maintenance and monitoring team. They have come into picture, and let's say they are taking another one month to do the maintenance and monitoring, and ensuring that they will also monitor that the application is working properly in client's machine. Now you can see here, while the other teams are working, the rest teams are sitting idle. Okay, so it is kind of wasting the time. And after this product has been delivered, the client says that I had asked something 1.5 years before, that I wanted something to be, let's say, this one I wanted to be orange in color, but this logo has been changed. Now this has to be green in color. So they have made some suggestions on the final application. Now again what they will do, now again for to upgrade the version, they will again, we have to come back to the development team. They will work on changing the color. They will again come back to build team, testing team, QA team, deployment team, maintenance team, monitoring team, and again let's say they will take another 6 months. So you can see here what is happening is, ultimately the client is suffering. So for 1.5 years they have nothing in their hand. Okay, so they don't have any single thing in their hand, so they are waiting for 1.5 years just for the application to get developed. And once the application is developed, and you are aware that several things change in 1.5 years. They wanted that this was their logo, and that is something that was changed later on. So you can see, even to upgrade the version and all, it will take such a a lot of amount of time again to do the version upgrade and all. So here ultimately what is happening is, the client is suffering. So what are the limitations the client is suffering? So what are the limitations? So the first limitation is that the client is suffering because he has to wait for a long time. Or let's say the we are somewhere, we are not focusing on the ideal product. So as I told you, what is an ideal product? Sorry, ideal product is something that it can be delivered within the time, within the required time, or within the decided time. So we are somewhere not um, somewhere we are not complying with that. Okay, so somewhere the client is suffering with the time. So we are we are compromising with the time. So there is no timely delivery. So there is no timely delivery as such. There is no internal collaboration. So previously, few years back, this used to happen that all these teams, they used to blame each other. So the development team used to blame the design team, they have not done the proper design, they have not discussed this properly with the client. The build team used to blame the development team. The testing team is they used to build the sorry they used to blame the development team that they have not done the development properly. The QA team, they used to they used to blame the testing team that they have not made the application, they did not check that the application is simple and all. The deployment team, they used to blame everybody in the internal team. I'm not able to deploy the application properly, what kind of application they have designed, okay, or what kind of application they have created. So the maintenance monitoring team, they used to blame on the deployment team. These resources are consuming a lot of the application is consuming a lot of resources, and the client is suffering, this is not as per the design. So what is to happen is there would not be any internal collaboration, they used to not be connected. So somewhere what is the ideal scenario is something that for for the client, we are entire a single company, either I am from the development team, build team, testing team, that doesn't matter. For the client, we as a whole, we are a team. But there will be internal clashes with this waterfall methodology, there won't be any internal collaboration. So each and every team, they used to blame each other, okay, for some issues and all. And since there was manual work, okay, so there was no automation, and since there was manual work, there were errors. Okay, there were, manual work means there will be errors. Okay, so if you're doing some work manually, there has to be some errors. And then what are the different let's say limitations that occurred from the waterfall methodology was the phase wise team used to happen, or sorry, phase wise work used to happen. So whenever development team was working, rest other teams were sitting idle. Whenever testing team was working, rest other teams were sitting idle. So the phase wise work was making the team idle. Okay, so that is the reason why the team was sitting idle. So at any given point of time, only one or two teams were working and the rest of the team were sitting idle. And what are the other issues? So there was no automation as such. So since they were using manual processes, manual tools, they were prone to errors, and there was no automation as such. And the client was ultimately suffering because of our internal clashes. So there was no internal collaboration, there used to be always clashes and all. And somewhere the product delivery is to get delayed, or the product quality used to get delayed. Somewhere we had to compromise on either one of the three things that I had discussed over here. So either one of the three things used to get compromised. So somewhere we there had to be they had to come up with a solution for this what traditional method, which is called as a waterfall methodology. That is the reason why it is called as a step by step method. So somewhere each and every team, they are following a step by step method, and there is no internal collaboration, there is internal clashes. The quality of the product is getting compromised, the time is getting compromised. Also, since I'm working, I told that I will be delivering it in 1.5 years, but let's say I have taken 5 years to build the application. So somewhere, if I am taking lot of amount of time to deliver the product, I have to also bear the price also, right? I have to also bear the price because I have to pay the salaries of these teams and all. So somewhere I'm compromising with the price, compromising with the uh, ultimately I'm compromising with the quality, I'm compromising with the time. So this PQT ratio that I told you is not getting satisfied, and ultimately the product is not getting delivered as an ideal product. So they are just delivering the product, but that is not something that the client was expecting. Okay, this was not something, and also the client has to wait for years just to get their application delivered. Now later on, what happened is, a team of several developers and several uh, you know developers, builders, testers, they came up with something that they decided that we need to find a solution on this. Rather than blaming each other, rather than having this internal collaboration, we need to come up with a solution for this waterfall methodology. We cannot allow the client to suffer. Okay, we cannot allow the client to suffer. So what after that, only what they did is the agile methodology was introduced. The agile methodology was introduced, and this agile methodology is also called as a continuous methodology. Now, why continuous and what is agile, we will understand.
And Nasir, if anyone has any questions, so you
Yeah,
can
please,
just.
anybody if has any questions, they can please ask me. They can also ask questions in the chat also. No worries.
No questions from my end.
All right then. Anyways, we will be having the questions at the end of the session, so no need to worry. You whatever questions that you have, just note them down, and you ask the questions all together at the end. So these questions not they don't have to be only technical. They can also be generic questions. Okay, related to your DevOps or your jobs and all. Okay, so let us continue, and we will have the session question Q&A at the end of the session. Now, just because of the several limitations that were faced in the waterfall methodology, agile methodology came into picture. Okay, so the team, they sat together and they decided that we need to do something. We need to come up with a process which can overcome the limitations that occur in this waterfall methodology. So what are the limitations? The client is suffering, there is no timely delivery, so there is no internal collaboration, a lot of manual work, lot of errors, there is a phase wise team, ultimately the team is sitting idle, there is no automation as such. So that is the reason why the agile methodology was introduced. And the you know it mostly the agile methodology, the first company which followed this agile methodology was Facebook. Okay, so they started using this agile methodology, and after that, this agile methodology became more popular. Now, what is agile methodology, or what is a continuous method that is followed in agile methodology? So let me come back to the different teams that we have. These are the different teams. Okay, so let us discuss about agile methodology. What they decided is that we need to come up with a solution to overcome the limitations that are arising from the waterfall methodology. So what they decided is, whatever team that we have, so we have the internal team and the on-site team. So what they decided is, let's come up with something. So what we will do is, we will just appoint someone, or let's take somebody who will be a common collaborator. This person, this let's say orange color person over here, he needs to collaborate everybody. Okay, so what he will do is, he will collaborate everyone, and he will take update of each and every team, and we will just resolve the issue of lack of collaboration. What was the first limitation? The first limitation was lack of collaboration. Okay, so what was the first limitation in waterfall? Was lack of collaboration. And what was the resolution that they came up with? So the resolution was to appoint someone as a collaborator. So this was the limitation, and let's say this was the resolution that was done, to appoint a collaborator. Now this collaborator over here is called as a scrum master. So that is the technical term that you may have heard, that scrum master courses and all. Why they are becoming so much popular is because they are used in agile methodology. So what they did is, they appointed a scrum master, and what was the role of the scrum master is to collaborate all these teams together. So the scrum master role was to ask everyone what they have done yesterday, what they are planning to do today, okay, and what is the update. So he used to take update from each and everybody, that what they have done yesterday, what they are planning to do today, and how can we improvise on whatever issues, internal issues that are happening. So what he used to do is, he collaborated with each and every team. So let's say development team came up with some issue. So let's say this development team, they told that the design was not proper. So what scrum master will do, he will ask the development team to sit with this design team, have an internal meeting. Generally, the meetings used to happen previously face to face meetings. Okay, so you have to go physically meet the design team. Development team, we used to go have a meeting with the design team, and they used to resolve the issues. So they used to say that this is not the design, so they will work at from the beginning only. So they will check the first draft. Okay, this is something that we came from the client, this is something that we have designed, just check this. So the design team used to check with the development team, then development team used to give the suggestions, and ultimately they improvise the design. Okay, whatever design that they had, they improvise on that. And generally this team or the standard practice is to have a face-to-face meeting, but since after COVID, these meetings happen online on Microsoft Teams and all. But the standard process is to have a face-to-face meeting. So they used to meet together, and they used to sit together, and they used to work on the common design. And then again, let's say later on, testing team had some issue. So next day, so this is, let's say, day number one, day one, and something, they have sat together and they have come with a common design. Then later on, testing team started complaining that this development team, they have not designed this code, that code properly. Then what this scrum master used to do, he used to tell this testing team to sit with the development team and resolve the issue, whatever issues that they have, on daily basis. This is not something, not this is not something that's to happen monthly or 6 monthly basis. This is something that will happen on daily basis. So he will ask the testing team to sit with the development team, collaborate with them, and just get the issues resolved. Then again, the QA team will be having some issues with the testing team. The scrum master will tell, just sit with the testing team and get the issues resolved. And later on, again, he will also collaborate with the on-site team. He will the development, say, let's say the deployment team has some issue with the QA team, he will ask the deployment team to sit with the QA team and get the issues resolved. And this is how, the he will improvise the collaboration of the team. He will take the updates on daily basis, and he will resolve all the issues. Now these daily updates or daily meetings that happen by the scrum master, they are called as stand up meetings. So this is the term that you will that you will hear every now and then in agile methodology. Most of the companies, they tell that we have a stand up call, we have a, they also call it as a scrum call, or it is also called as sync up call. Whatever, it means same. Okay, you can either call it a stand up call, scrum call, sync up call. This is the call that happens every morning with the scrum master. So he will ensure that each and every team, they give the update. Okay, they will give the update of what they have done yesterday, what they will be planning to do today, and what are the issues, internal issues that they have. He will just ensure that they collaborate with each other and get the issues resolved. So the first limitation that they had was the lack of collaboration. What was the resolution that they came up with? That they will appoint a common collaborator who is called as a scrum master, and also he will take the meetings on daily basis, and these daily meetings are called as stand up meetings. Sometimes they also call it a scrum meeting, scrum call. You can also call it as a sync up call. Whatever you call, everything means same. So this was the first resolution that came up, was the lack of collaboration got resolved with appointing a common collaborator, also called as a scrum master, and he started taking up daily stand up calls, scrum calls, or sync up calls. Now what was the next limitation of uh, waterfall methodology was that the client is suffering over here. So what, let me write the limitation. Client is suffering. So the client is facing issue that the client has asked to develop the application and he has nothing. So what, they came up with a resolution that rather than making the client wait for 1.5 years, or wait, making the client wait for years, we will start delivering the application in phases. Okay, so what was the resolution that came up here in agile methodology was that we will start delivering the app in phases. Phases means in weeks. Okay, rather than making the client wait, making the entire big application and giving the client, what they came up with solution. Rather than me building a big building, I will start building small rooms, and I will start giving those rooms to the client. It's like kind of like that. Okay, rather than me making building the entire big building, and after let's say 5 years I will giving the I will give the possessions. Rather than that, what I will do, I will start building small blocks of, let's say, small houses or small rooms. I will make them furnished, and I will start giving them, okay, to the customers, so that they can start using it. So start delivering the application in phases. So how do you deliver the application in phases? So first build a net banking. So let's say first what I will do is I will build the SMS banking application. Okay, I will just give that application to the client. After that, I will add some version. I will start using the IMPS. Then I will add something neft. I will start giving to the client. I will add IMPS. I will start giving to the client. Then I will add the transactions. I will start giving to the client. So rather than making the client wait for years, I will start giving the client the application in small phases. So you may have noticed in several websites, if you click on some other options, they will say that the app is still in maintenance, or it is still in the app is still building. Okay, they have not still built the application. So the more some options are available, some options are not available, but still the client has doesn't have to wait for years. He can start giving delivering the application to their customers. So what I will do is I will build the small application. So what I will do is first application I will build a first phase, and what I will do, I will give the customer. The client has told me, HDFC Bank, that first I need NEFT transaction. I just want the NEFT option, the IMPS option or RTGS options that you can develop later on. So first what I will do is I will deliver the app. I will just build the NEFT application, and I will deliver it to the client. So the client is also happy. Within short term period, I'm giving him something rather than making him wait for years and giving him the big application. I'm just giving a small part of the big application, so the client is also happy. So how to issue that the client is suffering? Rather than only having the collaboration with the internal team, the scrum master will also have weekly calls with the client over here. So let's say this is my client. Let me color him blue something. So this is my client. So what we will do is, rather than only collaborating with the internal team, we will also collaborate with the client. Maybe let's say once in a week or once in a fortnight, we will be having collaboration, but we will also take client in a meeting. So that is what Scrum Master will also do, is he will arrange at least a weekly call with the client, so that the client can also understand what we are doing, how much we have done, and if the client has some points to discuss, he will immediately tell the deployment team, no, don't use this, do that. Okay, he will just make the suggestions, he will give the change suggestions of the changes and all. So what is happening is, at the initial level only, we are getting ourselves correct. Okay, rather than delivering the application and making pointing out some mistakes, and the client pointing out some mistakes. At the beginning only, we are collaborating with the customer, with the client, and we are making the required changes at the beginning, at the zero level only. So what is happening is, the client is not suffering. He is getting the app delivered in phases, and he is also collaborated in the meeting. So what is I am doing is, I am also collaborating the client in the meeting, and I am delivering the application as per his requirement. So I am just meeting his expectations. So I'm ensuring that my whatever design that I'm doing, and whatever client expectation is there, they are on the same page. So somewhere I'm meeting the client expectation, I'm collaborating the client in the meeting, and I'm delivering the app in phases. Now I can deliver the app in 2 weeks, or let's say 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Okay, so we can decide, but generally the standard practice is 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Either I need to deliver the app in 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, and these weeks or these phases are called as sprint. So you may also hear these words, even or let's say you are already working in IT industry, you may have heard this term called as sprint. Okay, so generally people get confused. What is a sprint? Sprint is nothing but it is a time period. It can be either 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. That is a standard that is followed. So in our organization, we follow 3 weeks sprint. In mostly other organization, they follow 4 week sprint, or also they can follow 2 week sprint. So that is dependent, or that is so, that is different from company to company. So the sprint can be 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and this is what we call it as a sprint. So the we are just delivering the app in phases. So let's say, as a example, I'm delivering the app in 2 weeks. So rather than the client waiting for years, he can just get the important app part of the application in 2 weeks, and he is happy. Okay, and after that again I will work on the another version or another deployment. Okay, I will start doing deployments rather than doing the deployment after several years. I will start doing deployments in weeks. So after 2 weeks I will go live. So this deployment team will always be in picture every now and then. Another limitation that was there is the team is sitting idle. So this was another limitation of waterfall methodology. And how did we resolve it? We resolved it by giving them daily work, or either at least sprint work. So this each and every team, they are working on for every sprint. Okay, rather than working for years, this design team, development team, build team, testing team, QA team, deployment team, maintenance team, monitoring team, they are working for each and every sprint. So every day for 3 weeks they will be collaborating with the scrum master. They will be resolving the issue. They will be delivering an app or a part of the app. Again they will be working for another sprint. They will be doing some more changes. They will be delivering the part of the application. So this app will get delivered like this in continuously. After one sprint, this app will get delivered. Another sprint, app will get delivered. Another sprint, the part of the app will get delivered. So the application is getting delivered in phases, that is in continuous way. So this is why it is called as a continuous method. So this scrum master and the team, they are working every now and then, every day, for every sprint, and they are delivering small part of the application. And ultimately a big application will get developed after, let's say, even if they take 1.5 years, 2 years, 5 years, doesn't matter. The client is happy, the client is not suffering. And if the client is facing any issue, again they will highlight that issue in the weekly calls, and that issue will get resolved. So the product is getting delivered in short term period, in sprints. Okay, so this is my first sprint, this is my second sprint, this is my third sprint, fourth sprint. So for every sprint I am delivering a small part of the application. The client is happy, the internal team is also happy. They are also collaborated, they are also working collaboratively, they are working together as a team. And ultimately what we are doing is we are trying to focus on delivering the product in short term period with a good quality. And how am I ensuring the quality? By collaborating with the client. Since I am collaborated with the client, I can deliver a good quality of product which can meet the client expectations. So this is how I am also ensuring the quality of the product. Now what was another issue with the waterfall methodology is that they used to follow the manual process. Since manual processes are followed, they are more prone to errors. Okay, so we can have several errors when we do a manual process. So what was the resolution is, rather than using a manual process, they started using automation tools. Now so for automation, what they started doing is, they, for developers, when they were doing manual, they were writing the manual codes, there were several developers that were working in parallel. So let's say in my company, let's say I have 5 developers. Each and every developer is writing a part of a code. So when they used to merge that code together, they used to happen, there used to be some issues with the code merging and all. So for that, what automation tool was introduced was Git and GitHub. So what Git and GitHub did is, with the help of this tool is, the code merging came as in a central place. Okay, so rather than the developers have facing the issue of merging the code, they started making use of Git and GitHub, so that all the code can be in a centralized place, and even the deployment team can pull the same code from Git and GitHub. The next automation tool was the build for the build team is, they started making use of building build tools like Maven and all. Okay, so they can easily build the application with the help of automation tools. So Maven tool was introduced in DevOps, which used to do the build and all. And after that, for the testing team, so even the testing used to happen manually. They used to do the manual testing. Even nowadays you may have heard about manual testers, but they are now replaced by the automated testers. So the testing team, for the testing team, the tool was introduced which was called as the Selenium. So Selenium is a tool which is used for automation testing. So you don't have to do the testing manually. You can just use this tool and you can do the automation testing. Now for the QA team, another tool was introduced which was called as SonarQube. So SonarQube is kind of a QA quality assurance tool which will check the code quality. Okay, so it will ensure that the code is written on a good quality and it has no issues. It is safe from attackers. It is easy to use. Okay, so that part was taken care. Now for the deployment part, so you have several tools for deployment. You have Ansible or Docker or Kubernetes. So these tools were introduced for as a deployment for automating the deployment. So rather than using the manual deployment, you could easily use this deployment tools like Ansible, Docker and Kubernetes, and you could do the automated deployment. Then we had the monitoring tools for the monitoring team. So for them the tools was like CloudWatch that you may have heard, then Prometheus, Grafana. So these were the tools that were introduced for the monitoring team so that they can do the monitoring. And then the even for you know for deployment also, or let's say for continuous integration, continuous deployment, so that I will tell you what is CI/CD. And the tool was introduced, that was Jenkins. So these tools all together, they are part of DevOps. Okay, so we have so that is what the DevOps syllabus is. We have this Git, GitHub, Maven, Selenium, SonarQube, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, CloudWatch. So these are a part of all DevOps tools only. Now what is DevOps? Now I will come back to that, don't worry. So let us come back to the limitations. So the limitations in waterfall was they were following manual process. The manual process was replaced by automation tools, and these are the tools that were used in for automation. And ultimately what started happening is the customer started getting the product delivered in time with a good quality in phases. Okay, and there was continuous collaboration with the team. There was a daily stand-up call, sync up call, there was a scrum master, there was a common collaborator. So most of the issues that were arising from the waterfall methodology, they got resolved with the help of agile methodology. So there was phase work, this got eliminated. Team were sitting idle, this got eliminated. So each and every team is now working in sprints, and this manual error got eliminated, this internal collaboration issue got eliminated. So moreover, most of the limitations that were arising from this waterfall methodology, they were resolved with the help of agile methodology. Now later on what happened is, this team that you have, design, development, build, testing and QA team, this team is called as the development team. This team is called as the development team. And this team, the deployment, maintenance, monitoring and other team, they are called as the operation team. This is called as the operations team. Later on what happened is, from the agile methodology another methodology got introduced. So from agile also there are several methodologies. Let me just write them down. So we have another methodology called Scrum, Kanban, Scrumban, DevOps. So there are many more methodologies which got introduced from the Agile itself. From the Agile only, these are the babies of Agile, we can say. And DevOps became more popular, and the term DevOps came from the collaboration of these words: development and operations. So from this development on operation, the term DevOps got introduced. So that gave rise to DevOps. So DevOps is nothing but it is the collaboration of development and operation. Since they are doing collaboration and they are doing daily stand up, and since it is kind of collaboration with the team, that is the reason why the word or the term DevOps was introduced. So DevOps is nothing but development, combination of development and operations. And what is DevOps? So generally people think it is a tool or it is a technology. In simple words, it is not a tool or it is not a technology, it is simply a methodology. So what is DevOps? DevOps is simply a methodology which has come with, or which has arisen from Agile methodology. So it is a part of Agile methodology. But when you use these tools, whatever I have mentioned over here, these are the DevOps tools only. So Git, Maven, Ansible, Kubernetes, Terraform, Docker. So whatever tools that automate the process of collaboration of the internal team. Okay, the tools that you use for the collaboration of internal teams, the combination of these tools are called as DevOps. So what is another term for DevOps is the combination of automation tools like Git, Docker, Ansible, Maven. We have this Jenkins, Kubernetes, and there are several other tools, so SonarCube and all. There are multiple automation tools. So when you use the combination of all these tools together, they are called as DevOps. Now another advantage of DevOps, or let's say when DevOps team was introduced, most of the teams got eliminated. So most of the team, they got replaced with DevOps team. Okay, so what are teams that got replaced? So you cannot replace the development team. Okay, so these are the developers, you cannot replace them. But the build team, testing team, and QA team, so these teams, they got replaced with DevOps teams. And even the deployment, maintenance, and monitoring, this got replaced with DevOps team. So whatever work was done by build, sorry, not the testing team, my bad. So we do need testers and developers, they are a separate team. Okay, we cannot replace them. But DevOps, they generally they replace QA, build, deployment, maintenance, and monitoring. So you have to go on site, you have to do the deployment, you have to do the maintenance, monitoring, everything. This thing is taken care by a single DevOps team only. So previously, whoever were working as the build team, or whoever working as a QA team, or deployment team, or maintenance and monitoring team, that is the reason why all these teams got replaced with the by a single team, that is DevOps. So let's say we had two employees in each and every team. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 10 employees were replaced by a team of, let's say, 2 people only. So in our organization, we are only 3 people in DevOps. We have several other DevOps team, but for the current project, we are only three. We are only 3 people who handle these build stage, QA stage, deployment, maintenance, monitoring. So we have ultimately replaced almost 10 of the employees by just 2 of us, or let's say 3 of us. So that is the reason why you may have also seen, or you may have also heard, that DevOps and AWS, they get more salaries. And that is the reason why they get more salaries, because they have replaced most of the other teams. But ultimately we cannot replace the development team, because we are not we cannot write the code, and all that code has to be written by the development team only. And somewhere the testing and all, we still have manual testers and all, or somewhere we also use automation testing, but we cannot replace them. So DevOps team cannot replace development and testing team, but most of the other teams have been replaced by DevOps teams, and that is the reason why you have more salaries. Now, talking about salary, let us understand how much salary does a DevOps engineer gets in the market. So just for your you may be curiosity, sorry, yeah, you may be curious, what is the salary of AWS and DevOps team, or AWS DevOps engineer? So mostly it follows a factor of 4. I will write it down what the 4 means. So let's say you are from 0 to 1 year of experience. So you have just started, or you're just a fresher, or you are having at least 1 years of experience. The minimum package that you can expect is 6 LPA. Okay, so this is the minimum that I'm saying. You can expect 8, 10. I have also seen freshers who are getting packages of 8 to 10 LPA, okay, of packages. So 2 years, sorry, so it is 8 LPA. 3 years, 12 LPA. 4 years, 16 LPA. So this is an average salary. It can be in the range. Okay, I can also write the range also. And 5 years it can be of maximum of 20 LPA. So this, that is a factor of 4. 4 to the 8, 4 to the 12, 4 to the 16, 5 to the 20. So this is how the what are the salaries of DevOps engineers, AWS and DevOps engineers. Same as we can also expect similar salaries for AWS also. So these are the salaries of AWS and DevOps engineers. So they you can start with at least 6 LPA minimum salaries, and 8, 10, 12, 16, 20 LPAs of salaries is something that you can expect. Now the another question that you will generally get is how are the job opportunities? So that I will come to this regarding the job opportunities. So do we have jobs in market? Now the market is going, you may have heard this several times, people say now the market is going down, and the market is in slack, we won't find any IT jobs anymore, people are migrating to IT, there is so much of competition in IT. You can just ignore all these things. Okay, we have several job opportunities even in COVID, even when there were no jobs. AWS and DevOps jobs were very popular. Because why? The reason, because this automation is just recently, that is something that has been implemented. So DevOps was introduced somewhere in the year 2015. So after that only it started becoming more popular. There are several companies which still follow the waterfall methodology, and they are migrating to the agile methodology, mostly DevOps. So just understand, even if the market is down, we still have opportunities for AWS and DevOps, and that I can show you in Naukri and all. You can also go and search for Naukri.com, and you can also understand whether you do have jobs for AWS and DevOps or not. Okay, that also you can get clarity by just searching for jobs in Naukri.com. So just give me 1 second. So let me just share my screen. So this is something that I have taken from Naukri.com. I have not logged in yet, but you can see there are around 4,567 AWS DevOps jobs that you can still see. Okay, these are the jobs, and you can also go, just don't rely on me, just go and search for the jobs that are available in market. I'm just showing you the data from Naukri.com. You can also go to LinkedIn. You can also search for any other job portals like Monster. We have that Times Job. There are several other job portals, but the most popular ones are Naukri and LinkedIn. So you can see the number of requirement that is there still in the market. Even from 2015, after DevOps was introduced, we still have jobs. Even if the market goes down, AWS DevOps job will still stay, because that is something that is related to cloud computing, and many of the companies, they are migrating from on premises to cloud. Now another question. So for this for the job opportunities, you go and research on Naukri.com, and you tell me whether you have jobs or not. Okay, I am not going to tell you whether you have job opportunities or not. You can go fetch from Naukri.com, and most of the most of the institute, they try to fool candidates by saying that they will give them jobs and all. See, there is no institute in this entire world that can help you with the jobs. Okay, nobody can help you with the job. You have to go, you have to sit, you have to go attend the interview, and after that only you have to compete with other candidates, then only you will get a job. Okay, there is no institute in this entire world that can bring a job to you. Okay, and if they are saying so, just don't believe in them. They're just trying to fool you. Nobody can give you a job. You only have to go in the market, you have to upload your resume, you have to compete, you have to give the interviews. Only after that only you will get a job. I have seen several consultancies, or there are several institutes that say that just pay us some money and we will get you a job. Please don't waste your money on such institutes. They are just trying to fool candidates. Don't believe in them. There is no shortcut to get a job. Just remember that you have to develop your skills, you have to make yourself capable. After that you have to give the interviews, and only you can get a job. There is no shortcut to get a job. If anybody is asking you to pay some money, please don't waste your money on such institutes or consultancies. Okay, so please don't do that. Okay, that is the only method to get a job, is to upload your resume, give the interviews. and then you can get a job. Now another question that candidates can ask is, okay, now see, we are from non IT, we are from non technical background, can we still get a job? The answer is yes. That is the reason why I have started this sessions and all. That is the reason why I train candidates. And some of my candidates, just few days back, one of my candidate got placed in tech camp with 10 LPA package. That too, he was from non IT background only. So don't have a misconception that can we compete with the non technical guys? Yes, of course you can compete with these guys, with the guys even who have real time experience, because I will be teaching you real time things only, and I will be teaching you more than what is required in the market. Okay, there is no institute that can teach you all the tools that I have provided in the syllabus. Okay, I will be teaching you GitHub, Linux, shell scripting, AWS EC2, then again Docker, Ansible, Kubernetes, uh, Terraform, Jenkins. There is no institute. You can go inquire from any institute, take my syllabus, ask them that in this fees, can you teach us this much of syllabus? There is no institute that can teach you this much of syllabus, with that much of fees. Okay, or else they will tell you that we will charge you some large amount of fees. Okay, that is what they will tell you. So let me just show you what I am covering in the syllabus. And I will be sharing this syllabus with you. You can get in touch with the moderator also, and he will help you with the syllabus copy and all. Okay, you can just give your mail IDs and all. So these are the tools that I'll be covering in the syllabus. This is the AWS EC2. This is part of AWS only, ALB and ASG. Linux, shell scripting, because nowadays most of the companies, they ask for at least they are aware of any scripting languages. So that is what I will be covering. GitHub, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins, DevOps project. Okay, so this is the syllabus that I will be covering in the part of the course. That is the reason why the course is around 3 months. Now they ask why it is so why it is taking such a long time to cover the syllabus and all. See, the syllabus is big. I want to make you capable enough so that you can learn everything, each and everything. Okay, so you don't have to worry about learning something else or something else from from other sources. I will try to make it. I've just combined it in a such a way that you can make use of a single institute. You can learn everything, so that after that you will become interview ready. So that is what my goal is. I am not here just to earn money and all. Okay, I have also gone through several interviews and all. I have seen the efforts that we need to put to get a job and all. So I'm here not only just for your money, I'm here to help you get the job. Okay, so that is what my basic goal of this classes and all is. Okay, so the reason why I take classes is because I love teaching, and also I want to help candidates get the job and all. Okay, so now the question that generally candidates ask is that, do I, I am not from, I am from a non-technical background, so I am from a non-IT background. So how can I get a job in IT? So I am from, let's say, I don't have a engineering degree. I am from BBA, BCA. See, to get a job in AWS DevOps, you only need a bachelor's degree. That is enough. So if you have a bachelor's degree in arts also, doesn't matter. You just need to have a good technical knowledge on AWS and DevOps. Another question that mostly candidates ask me is that, do I need to learn a programming language? The answer is no. Big no. You don't have to learn any programming. Okay, little bit of scripting is required, and it is a very simple language, and that I'll be covering. And don't be rest assured, I will teach you everything from the basic. You don't have to worry about this scripting language. So as a part of AWS and DevOps, I will be teaching you the scripting language. Generally we use this YAML scripts and all. That I will be teaching you HashiCorp language and all. That I'll be teaching you from scratch, so you don't have to worry about learning the programming language. So even if you're from non-IT background, you just need a bachelor's degree. That is enough. Okay, bachelor's in anything, that is enough. If you are having a diploma, I would suggest you get a bachelor's degree. Then the third question that they generally ask is, can I compete with the real-time candidates? So the answer is yes, of course you can, because I'll be teaching you everything. The only thing or the only commitment that I will be needing from you is a proper preparation. So whatever sessions I will be taking, the only thing that I need, the only commitment that I need from your end is to repeat everything. So see, practice makes a man perfect. Just go through the videos 2 to 3 times. You can easily compete the real-time candidates. And this is something that I am talking from my experience, not just something that I'm telling you. This you can easily compete with the real-time candidates. The only commitment that I'll be needing from your side is whatever notes or whatever videos I'll be sharing with you, you need to just go through them again and again, have a good hands-on, and you can easily compete with the real-time candidates. Okay, so don't worry whether getting a job and all. So we will, I will make you interview ready. Okay, I'm not like the other institute who will that I will get you a job. Okay, just run away from these institutes. They are just trying to fool you. Nobody can get you a job. You only have to give the interviews, and you only have to get the job. Okay, there are many consultancies who will ask you money that we will give you a job in this company, that company. Please don't waste your valuable money over there. So my goal is to make you interview ready. So that is what my goal is, that you will become interview ready, and this is something that I can tell you with 100% confidence, that you will become interview ready. You will be ready to face each and every interview. At the end of the course, I will be also giving you the interview questions that I have faced when I was trying to switch to my current company. So I have the all the questions. Okay, all the questions, and I've also the real time questions that are asked in interview, not just questions taken from Google. These are the real time questions that are asked, which can help you get interview ready. Okay, so I will make you capable enough to get interview ready. Now another question that generally candidates ask is that I am from some different background, from non-IT background, but I want to get into IT and I want to get some experience. I cannot go as a fresher. Yes, of course, you don't have jobs as a fresher. You don't have much jobs as a fresher. You only have jobs at least with 3 to 4 years of experience. Now, what can I do? So for that, we can just give you some consultant number and all. They will help you with the documentation part and all. Okay, this is something that I do not recommend, but we don't have any other choice. For freshers, you don't have jobs, and if you're coming from some non-IT background, nobody will you will face challenges getting a job, because no, there are very less jobs for freshers. Do have a you do give a try, but if you feel that you need some documentation for experience and all, that also you can get in touch with us. We have some types with the consultancies, and we can get you the documentation part and all. So this is something that these are the some questions that generally candidates ask me, related to their background, related to programming languages, related to documentation and stuff. So I hope I've covered everything, but if you still have any questions, then you can please go ahead and ask, clearly, no need to worry. One more thing I just wanted to tell you is related to the course is, that we will be, just give me 1 second. So what are the related to course, some information that I want to give is related to the course, that I'll be covering the syllabus in 2 to 3 months. The timing will be 8 to 9 a.m. Monday to Friday. But I will be giving you options wherein you can choose either you want 8 to 9 or 7:30 to 8:30. That whenever you will be filling the form, you can just give select the option. But mostly I'll be preferring 8 to 9 a.m. Monday to Friday. The theory and practical both will be taught. Okay, the theoretical and both the practical hands-on will be done. Syllabus copy I have already shared. The study material, whatever slides that I will be presenting in the session, that I will be giving you in the soft copy as a PDF. Then I will be giving you weekly assignments. It is up to you. If you complete, that means you are performing well, you are doing the repetition, you are understanding these things. I will be explaining in the simple English only. The reason why I choose English, because after that later on, once you're preparing for the interview, you will be needing to talk in English only. And once you get in any company, you will be needing to talk in English with the client and all. So let us have a practice within 3 months. At least you will have some practice with English. So you can talk with me. You can just I try to keep the explanation in a very simple English so that everybody can understand. Although if you have any concerns, you can ask in Hindi or Marathi, and some little bit of Kannada I do understand. Although I am from North Karnataka, but I did my schooling and my college in Maharashtra only. That is the reason I am much fluent in Marathi. Although you can ask me in Kannada, I do understand Kannada, and the explanation will be from scratch. As I told you, from basic level, I'll be teaching you everything. So all the software and installation and configuration that is required, that will be done from zero level. Okay, so under just assume that my laptop is an empty box. Okay, I will be covering each and everything from a basic thing, so you don't have to worry about installation and configuration stuff. And I will be keeping the Q&A session at the end of the lecture. Okay, so if you have any questions, you are free to ask. Even if you ask me questions later on which is related to previous module, that also is okay, no need to worry. I'll be covering all the real-time scenarios. The only prerequisite that is required is a basic laptop. Okay, no need to purchase new laptop, purchase any normal laptop. You don't have to have a high configuration laptop. A basic laptop is, that is the only must to learn AWS and DevOps. And why only AWS and why not Azure and why not GCP, that I will be covering in the next session. So the once our batches will start on 10th of July. Okay, the regular batches will start. There I'll be covering you why we need to why we will be only needing AWS and why not other clouds. Okay, so that I'll be covering over there. So I have almost covered all the points from my side, but if you think there is anything else that is left, you are free to go ahead and ask the questions. Yes, please ask, Ali.
Yeah, Nasib, with this course, can you apply for AWS Solution Architect also?
Which, can you please repeat?
Ali, your voice was breaking. Can you type it on in the chat?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
will be
sure, sure,
good.
no issue.
Yeah, yeah, your voice is breaking. So
Okay.
any thank you, Nasir, for this wonderful session.
Yeah, thank
Uh,
you, Vishwanath.
so we will just take some Q and A's. So anybody has got any questions, please can raise a hand and ask the questions, and also comment in the chat. Anyone? Any questions? Any doubts? There is one question.
Yeah, I think Faizan has some question.
Yeah.
Hi, bro. Good
Yeah,
morning.
hi Faizan. Good morning.
Bro, I have one question, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm showing 2 years of experience, sir. So
Okay.
how I can manage it?
So as I told you, see, you can easily beat the real-time candidates. All you need to do is whatever I'm teaching, just go through it again and again. Just repeat whatever I have been teaching, and you can easily compete with the real-time candidates. Okay, so I have designed the course in such a way that whatever questions that we have in real time, whatever questions that I have faced, or whatever questions that I take from the candidates, that is what I'll be covering the course. No unnecessary information. And you may have seen YouTube channels and all, they will just cover everything. Even the unnecessary things, they will cover it just for the views and all. I won't be covering anything unnecessary. I'll be covering only that is required for you to get a job. And also related to, most candidates, they ask me questions related to projects. I will be covering the project in this course. I will be also posting some projects in my YouTube channel also, so you don't have to worry. You have all the projects that are related to DevOps, that I'll be posting every now and then. Also in my YouTube channel, I'll be also posting some additional if most of the candidates, if they get additional questions that are asked in interview, that also I'll be covering in the YouTube channel as well. So even after the completion of the course, you can still get the additional questions that are asked from the YouTube as well. Ali, you have any other question? Your hand is raised.
No, he has left the meeting.
Okay, okay. I think it was the previous hand that was raised.
Okay. So about the cost of the course is a question.
Yeah, that you
Answer.
can get in touch with the admin or the moderator. He will tell you the cost and all. And we will be starting the regular batches from 10th of July. So whoever is interested, they can get enrolled themselves.
Yeah, some Raj, do you have a question?
Hi, this is Rajkumar. So, are you conducting project at the end of the course or on daily basis, like at the practical sessions only?
See, Raj, the projects are related to the combination or integration of all the tools that are there in DevOps. So, firstly, we will be covering the practical sessions related to each and every individual tool. So, I'll be covering the practical for Git, then I'll be covering the practical for Docker, then Ansible, then Kubernetes, and at the end, the entire project will be like a combination of all the tools. Okay, so the practical will be done for each and every tool. So, we have an hands-on session for each and every tool, but the project will be conducted at the end of the course so that you can understand how these tools are integrated together. Plus, I won't be covering a single project. I will be covering additional projects also that I'll be posting on the YouTube channel, so that you can get them from the YouTube as well. I already have one project. If you already have some experience in DevOps, you can get you can just watch the video on YouTube. You can get understanding from the DevOps project, and you can start applying for jobs. So don't just enroll for this course if you already have experience in DevOps. If you already have experience, just see the videos, real-time project videos on YouTube, and you can start applying for jobs. If you have no knowledge in DevOps, then you can get in touch with me. You can enroll for this course. Okay.
And one more to add to that point, Nasir also takes mock interviews for the candidates here. So basically, interview preparation, interview ready is he would take each individual who has joined the course or somebody who is already got trained who needs interview preparation support also that can be provided from my end so that
Yeah.
you guys are able to clear the interviews. So he is doing from his part that he's going to help candidates see how to prepare a resume, what on all should be added in the resume, because the first primaries cut, I mean wherever candidates get rejected is where the resume only, because they have not added the relevant skills in those resumes or relevant tools in the resume or relevant projects in the resume. So it will start from the basics of adding things into your resume.
Sure. Yeah, Vishwanath. So yeah, we'll be covering the resume preparation and all. Yeah, Raj, you have
Yeah,
another question?
yeah. Actually, no, I'm already working as automation engineer,
Okay.
and actually, learning basics is different, and implementing. When we get an internal opportunities like as a DevOps engineer, then when we implement using these concepts, then we will get some. If we have any real-time projects or hands-on projects, right? Then we will easy to implement.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we
That
have
is
only
what Raj.
basic knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what, Raj. We already have some project videos on YouTube. So if you already have some experience in AWS and DevOps, go through those videos so that you can get an understanding and you can start applying for internal job posting. So I believe that you are already working in IT and you want to switch to, and you want to do an internal switch to DevOps. That is what I have understood from your question. So if you want real-time projects, that is already there on YouTube. I will be posting some more videos on YouTube that you can refer, and you can
Always
start
connect
applying
that.
for internal job. Yeah, that can be done.
Raj, you can always call us one to one where we can help you to help you in the clearing of the interviews. Basically we need a mentor in our daily life. If you are applying especially in IT industry, you need a mentor to how to process and go forward. So Nasir would be a best person to guide you with that. So you can definitely connect us to one, so we can guide you how things, not only applying in your company itself, you can also try giving interviews in other companies also, so that way you might get a better salary packages also. And if you get, like, see, if you are very happy with your current company, and if you're getting an opportunity from the other company and which is offering a better package, you can match that offer in the same company itself. So that would be an added advantage. So you can always connect to us, one-on-one call, and we will guide you how to face an interview and what all things are necessary, and what is already been thought, or what is already been learned by you, and what else you have to add on to learn, and what is the interview questions they're going to focus on. So we can help you with that.
Yeah, that is correct. And another thing is that we will be covering, like we will be having the same session tomorrow also. So if any of your friends were not able to join today's free demo, they can again the same tomorrow. Tomorrow the demo will be same. We will be covering the same topic. The reason why we are conducting it on Saturdays and Sundays, because people are having free time. There are many candidates who cannot attend the demos on Saturdays, so they can attend it on Sundays. So mostly many candidates they attend it on Sunday. So if you have any of your friends who have missed this demo, you can just ask them to attend it tomorrow. Okay, we will be conducting the same demo tomorrow, and they can get and if they have any questions, they can ask us one to one. Yeah, Aimer, you have some question? Please ask me.
Yeah, hello. I also have experience in IT. Like currently, I'm working in big data, but planning to switch in DevOps. I have good understanding of DevOps, but I don't have any hands-on experience on it. So due to that, unable to crack the interview. So what would you suggest me?
So, Amar, if you have some experience in DevOps, I would suggest just go through the project videos that I have posted on YouTube, so you can get understanding of how the tools are integrated. But if you want to get more knowledge on DevOps, then you can just go, just do this course, and you can understand how all the tools work. So I'll be covering Git, Ansible, Kubernetes, and see, mostly many of the institute they don't cover Kubernetes and Terraform. That these are the major tools, and these are the tools that are always asked in interview, and mostly many institute they don't cover these topics only. So they will charge you 20 25,000. They will tell that we are teaching DevOps, but they will just discard Kubernetes and Terraform. So just see that we are covering each and every tool, and that too the important tool, the most important tool is Kubernetes and Terraform. So if you have some understanding of DevOps, then you can just go through the project videos, and you can just start real time, you can get some real time experience. But if you want to get more knowledge, if you want to sharpen your skills, then you can just join this course, and you can get detailed understanding of all the tools that we have in DevOps. Yeah, Ali, you have your hand raised. You can ask a question.
And is like those video enough for like understanding? I mean, I don't have any hands-on experience.
Yes, yes, they are enough for understanding. The course has been designed in a way that whatever we do in real time, that is what I'll be covering in the course. I'm just not a trainer in from some institute. I'll be who will be teaching you theoretical knowledge. Whatever we do in real time, whatever we do in for production and all these tools that are required for deployment, all that is what I'll be covering in this syllabus. So be rest assured, I'll be covering everything that is based on real time only. This is nothing just a theoretical knowledge that I'll be covering, and just taking some amount from you guys, and I'll teaching you theoretical knowledge. I'll be covering all the practical stuff that we do in real time. So be rest assured, what at the end of the course you will have enough skills to get a real time job. Okay, so can easily beat the real time candidates by just enrolling in this course. Yeah, Ali, you have your question.
Yeah, sorry, I had the internet connection issue.
Okay.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
with this course, can we apply for AWS Solution Architect role also?
So for AWS Solution Architect, we have a separate batch. I here I'll be covering the basic tools in that services that we have in AWS. So I'll be covering EC2, application load balancer, and the auto scaling groups. That is the basic tools or services that are used in real time. So in AWS there are around 200 plus services. So these all these services are not used in real time. We hardly use six to
Mhm.
seven services in real time. From that I'll be covering 3 4 services. But if you want to have a hardcore experience in AWS, you want to have a better understanding of all the AWS services, I have a separate batch for AWS wherein I'll be covering around 40 plus AWS services. So as I told you, in real time only 6 to 7 services are used, but I'll be covering around 40 plus services that so that you don't have any issue cracking the interview related to AWS. Because mostly from AWS they will ask you based on services related to S3, VPC, RDS, Route 53. So all these services I'll be covering in a separate AWS batch only. So for that you can contact the admin and you can you can get the information of when the AWS batch will be starting. So mostly we'll be starting it after the finish after we finish the DevOps batch only. Or if you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
the previous recorded videos also, you can get in touch with admin, so that you don't you can just learn it in combination with AWS and DevOps. So here basic tools I'll be covering, basic services, AWS services. But you want to if you want to get detailed understanding, more information on AWS services, then you can get in touch with the admin. They can tell you the information of the next batch, or you can also get the previous recorded videos uh, from them.
Yeah.
Uh,
I didn't.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Sandesh.
yeah. Yeah. Initially, I told about myself. I'm working in networking domain actually. That also
Okay.
not core.
Mhm.
So can I start directly with DevOps without AWS?
Yes, you can. You can start with DevOps without AWS also. But I
Mm-hmm.
would recommend you to learn
Yep.
AWS as well, because mostly in interviews they will ask you services related to AWS. Okay. You may answer questions related to three, four services, but the rest of the services you need some experience on AWS. But you can start applying jobs based on these whatever course I'll be covering. This is mostly DevOps focused, and little bit of AWS I'll be covering whatever is required for DevOps. But mostly I would suggest you to also learn at least 10 AWS services that is required
Mm-hmm.
for cracking the interview and all. And obviously, since you are from networking background, the basic of cloud computing and DevOps is networking only, because that is where everything starts. Okay, so if you're creating virtual networks, that is where you will be deploying the virtual servers, and that the basic starts from networking only. Okay, so that networking means that you already have a base, you already have a basic foundation, and you can obviously you can learn better than others.
And
Yeah.
to add on to that, Ali, not only AWS, there are other cloud computing services. So basically, here in this, he is focusing on merely on AWS and DevOps. There are other clouds like Azure, GCP that he will be taking. I mean, he will be explaining about why he's going to add it or that later in the
Yeah,
course.
in see as a high level overview, why only prefer AWS and not other cloud is, see, because see, if you learn one cloud, you can get expert in other clouds also. That is the first thing. Secondly, AWS is the dominating cloud in the market. It has around more than 35% of the market share is taken by AWS only. And most of the big organizations, like we have NASA and we have this Facebook, Meta, Netflix, they use AWS only to host their virtual servers. So the reason why I prefer AWS is because that is something that comes at the top. That is something that ranks first, and after that only we have Azure and GCP. And if you learn AWS, you can easily learn Azure and GCP parallelly. Okay, that won't be much difficult. It's like, you have learned. Let's say you have learned one bike, you can easily drive another bike also. So or else,
Yeah.
let's say you have already learned driving a Maruti car, you can easily drive a Tata car, you can easily drive a Benz car, BMW car. But the basic thing is to
Mhm.
learn a car, right? The moment you have
Yeah.
learned driving a car, you can easily drive the car of other brand also. Okay, that is
Mhm.
how it works. So you first learn the most important cloud, the most dominating cloud, and after that you can easily parallelly learn the other clouds as well. That is how it works. So I would
Yeah.
suggest you to learn AWS only, because it is the most dominating cloud. That is something that has taken the maximum market share. After that only, the next competitors are Azure and GCP, followed by 22% and around 12% of market share that they have. That is how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. One last question regarding documentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, in my offer letter, it is clearly mentioned as other than this DevOps and cloud domain. So
Hmm.
how can I overcome this?
See, mostly in offer letters, they will give you designations like software engineers or network engineers also. And
Mm.
generally, that this question that generally comes in your interviews, they can easily say that I was working as a network engineer, but along with that, I was doing work of AWS and DevOps as well. Because see, if you are based in a service based industry, there are multiple projects that you work on. So for currently in my organization, I am working on 13 projects. 13 projects, you can imagine. And
Yeah.
each and every project is different from other project. So each and
Mm-hmm.
every project I have to do different work. In one project I am doing AWS only, another project I am doing only Azure. Okay, and another project I am working on hardcore DevOps tools, and in another project I am only working on Kubernetes and Docker. Okay, so combining,
Okay.
mostly, see, whenever you work in any organization, you don't want to work on a single project. So as I told you, my
Okay.
example, I'm working on 13 different projects, and 13 different projects have 13 different tools, 13 different monitoring services, 13 different cloud computing. So mostly we are working on AWS and Azure together. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
working in such a service-based industry, you will be working on multiple projects. You can easily tell them that we have different clients, and for different clients, I am handling different roles and responsibilities. Mostly you won't be working on a single project. That is something that
Right.
won't happen in a service based industry. So this is how you can easily tell the interviewers that you have already having work, or you have already worked on different projects wherein you have worked on different responsibilities, wherein you have handled AWS and DevOps. That is how you can tell them.
Okay. Okay. It is acceptable. Yeah.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean that being a network engineer, you cannot work on AWS. Okay. You can still do
Okay.
that. Previously, when I was working
Yeah.
in Bosch, I was
Mm-hmm.
working on multiple things. So I was working on business part. Okay. Mostly I was working on business part. I was handling their servers, which were mostly on AWS. I was handling little bit part of DevOps. I was handling a little bit part of networking also. I have also done the setup of networking, the switches and all, whatever network that you have, the architecture of the network that we have, bus network, ring network, all this I have already worked on Bosch, because that is a client who have made me work like anything. I have also worked on the business part also. So since I was the face of the company, I used to also handle the business part as well. So bringing the customer, bringing the sales and all, that was also a part of my job, when I was working for Bosch. For ACC Cement it was different. I was only working on AWS part only, creating the servers, working on the AWS part, managing their virtual servers and all. So different customers has a different requirement, and they demand in a different way. And the experience that I have got was Bosch. So Bosch, it made me like anything. I had to work like anything. So I have
Yeah.
worked for several hours for Bosch, and wherein I was handling multiple tasks. Even the business, even the networking, even the virtual servers, even the DevOps part. So that is also what I have done in Bosch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all from my. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ali.
So the fees part, what we are gonna tell it today, tomorrow. Basically, we were expecting other few people who were gonna join this. So there is gonna be an exclusive offer for these two demo classes. Whoever are participating in this demo classes, so we are gonna give an exclusive offer for them, so that they get some benefit. So the number which we have shared, you can connect either on my number or on Nasir's number to get more
So you can
details about.
connect with the moderator or admin. So whoever, from wherever you have got the references, you can connect with them. And yeah, Vishwanath, please continue.
Yeah. So basically, we are going to guide you how the process is going to start and how the projects is going to happen and everything regarding that. And for the people who have already got trained somewhere, we are also helping them also, so that say like they have got trained in some other institute, they might have missed some certain parts of the training, like as Nasir was mentioning, they have not covered Terraform, Kubernetes. So those things also will try to help them out to add those skills, so that they can relevant experience and to face the interview. So so to, with this we'll try to wind up this session, and thanks for connecting everyone, and thanks Nasir for the wonderful session today.
Yeah,
And
1 minute, Vishwanath. There is
yeah,
one question from Harsh. I think we
yeah,
missed out.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he's
yeah.
mentioned that I'm a fourth year IT student and I'm good at full stack development and want to learn DevOps to enhance my skill. I already have good personal experience working with Git, GitHub, Linux, and little bit of shell scripting has done. So this course helped me to learn very essential tools which I'm not aware about and must know in DevOps field. So if I get any details about this course, pricing and all, then I can enroll early. That is what Harsh has mentioned. So
Yeah.
yes, Harsh, whatever tools that you are aware of, GitHub, Linux, and shell scripting, these tools we will be covering in more detail. Along with that, DevOps tools, I have already, you will be getting the syllabus copy from from the moderator or from the admin, you can get in touch with them. And the entire syllabus I have already shown it on the screen, but you can still get the syllabus copy. And obviously this can help you learn more about DevOps and all. Even if you are not having understanding of what is DevOps, even if you're from non-technical background also, we will help you get good skills on DevOps. Okay, so don't worry. Even if you're from non-IT or non-technical background also, this course has helped many other people. As I told you, one of my candidates recently got placed in TechCam with 10 LP of package, so that he was also from a non-IT non-technical background only. Okay, so the reason why I am having so much of confidence, because I have already cracked it, I have already done it, and one of my candidates has already proved it that we can do it. So you can easily do it. You can easily learn DevOps from this course. And the one added advantage is that you are already studying, you are already in the fourth year, so you can develop your skill at a very beginning level. Okay, you don't have to worry. You don't have to wait until you finish your course and then start learning the courses and all. You are already learning it while you are doing the college, and that will be an added advantage for you while you will be doing giving the interviews. So you can say that I am having knowledge on full stack, I can also handle DevOps, so it will be like a cherry on the cake for you. Okay, so that will obviously help you with interviews and all.
Yeah, and you can start applying from the last year. It's I mean, in the last
That will be
semester.
an added advantage when you are seeing that you have so many skills. It will be a very plus point for you, Harsh.
Yeah, thank you, Harsh. Thank you for the wonderful questions. So, anything you want to add on final, Nasir? You want to add something?
I will just add that we will be conducting another batch tomorrow. So if any of your friends they missed today's session, they can attend it tomorrow. And if you have any other questions related to DevOps, or you already have some knowledge on DevOps and you want to just understand how to crack interviews, or you already have full understanding on DevOps but you are not able to crack the interviews, anything related to any questions, you can get in touch with me or Vishwanath or the admin number that I have given in the chat. Okay, and even if you have missed something that you want to still ask anything else, you can still get in touch with the WhatsApp groups, and you can post your questions over there. So I'll be very happy to cover the questions tomorrow. So tomorrow, if you want, you can still attend the demo tomorrow. If you tomorrow maybe you may get any questions, you can still ask those questions tomorrow. So thank you all for attending this session, and I believe I have covered all the required things that will help you understand what is DevOps and what is software development lifecycle, and how things work in real time in developing and deploying the product. And if there is anything else, still you can get in touch with the moderator or me or the admin guys. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day,
Full
and
day.
we can meet tomorrow again. And me Vishwanath and the admin guys will still be there tomorrow to help your friends and all to understand more about this course and all.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, everyone, for joining and sparing
Thank you.
your important time.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
See you guys tomorrow. If anybody is missed it, please share the link so they can join in. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.